What they do. This your boy DP.
This your girl T.
And we're the Geminis Gemz, representing for the Geminis across the world, giving our own Miami perspective.
For sure.
So you can follow us on all podcast platforms at Geminis Gemz.
Also follow us on Instagram, Geminis_Gemz, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Geminis Gemz.
Hey, make sure you like, follow, you comment, and you subscribe. Yes. And make sure when you type it in, it's Geminis with the S, Gemz with a Z. And what we do, T?
Drop them gems.
Drop them gems. What they do, y'all?
All right.
How y'all doing?
They doing all right.
Don't rush them. Jeez. Let's get to it then.
Okay. It's just one of those kind of days.
So what we talking about, T?
Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
What we talking about?
What we talking about?
So.
Pause. So what they do, try? Right. How y'all doing today?
Yes.
Right. Go ahead, T.
All right. So I just love talking to you because you know how to get to the roots of things. Mm-hmm. And that's what you bring to the table, right? Cool. So you was like, T, we can't talk about something specific because you just not in that mood.
Right.
And I was like, well, damn. You know how we try to, have advance of what we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, I don't want to bring it based off the mood and, the example that you gave me. Mm-hmm. So you was like, tell me how you feel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, basically, I'm like, I feel basically overwhelmed, but I feel like I'm the directory. And this episode, I wanted to talk to the people who feel that they're the directory of their family. Not to take nothing less for what the other person might do. If you're in a marriage, I'm speaking for what the hell I got going on.
Right.
All right?
Right.
So the directory for me means also, okay? Meaning you just the go-to person for every mother effing body you love. And that's by choice. Because people really don't beg or not forcing. No one is putting a gun to my head. Mm-hmm. But I care. I give, I love. That's just who I am. Mm-hmm. So I'm really not complaining, but sometimes a bitch just need a goddamn reset. All right?
Okay.
So I'm just in that reset mode to where here we are today. Mm-hmm. Okay? Everybody excuse my language. It's just that's the mood that I am in, and I got to release some shit.
Okay.
All right?
You're right.
So
let them know, T.
So the directory, for all the directors who know what the hell I'm talking about, people call you for every single thing, but they need help every day. Hey, do you know where this store is located? Hey, I might need some finances. Hey, I might need you to pick somebody up. Hey, I might need you to do an email for me. Hey, I might need help on a damn homework. Hey, I might need you to make it. It's something that the people you love.
Oh, man.
And what I mean, it's like a dart. Mm-hmm. And they coming at you. Everybody try to get to that red damn hole. Everybody try to get to the cherry. Mm-hmm. But everybody can't get to the cherry. So all these darts throwing and shit. As I'm still catching it because I'm trying to deliver what the hell people ask me to because it's me. Mm-hmm. I am nice. Mm-hmm. I care so much. Mm-hmm. I love. T loves love. But sometimes I be like, you're not God.
Exactly.
You understand? So I know all of the things that people might be like, oh my God, this girl going crazy. I know, but it's just how I get through my day. Mm-hmm. So this is my reset. I'm just letting it all out because I feel like, hey, we know on Sundays we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to be resting. Mm-hmm. We don't rest.
Right.
I'm talking to the people who don't rest.
Right.
All right. And again, it's nobody's fault, but how can a female breathe? If it's, you got your kids in your ear, you love them so dearly.
Yes.
I love my mom so dearly. In the littlest things, she could say, well, did you change the AC filter? I'm coming. Okay, I know you want it now.
Right.
While you sitting getting your hair done, and all of a sudden you thought about me to change the AC filter. Pause.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So it's just a little shit like that. Like, when do you think for yourself? When do you have time for yourself? When can you make yourself happy if 23 and a half hours of the day might belong to somebody else? It really wasn't about you, because you need your rest.
Right.
But literally, what are you doing to stop in your day for no responsibilities? How many minutes collectively are the people who the directories? I'm not talking about the ones who home. God, you chilling. You kind of planning your next vacation because you just got off another vacation, but you at home planning your vacation. I'm not talking to y'all. I am talking to everyday people who goes to work. Either you go to an office or you're not, who have kids, who have a significant other or not, who might have a widow mother at home and you're at her home because you don't want her to drown. So where are those people who really stick together as a family? Because at the end of the day, everyone needs help.
Right.
So my thing is, I don't mind helping people. I don't mind trying to be that yes person, because if you kind of ask, if you kind of spoke it up, it was a reason. Maybe I was at that moment to help you, even though you're not really asking for the help. But if I know who you are, if you bringing it up and you're not really looking for someone to come and save you, it's just, why not? If I'm able to do it. And that's, whew, that felt good to even say that.
I know.
Oh, that's how I'm feeling right now.
Okay,
oh, wow.
so,
I didn't know I just did all that.
Yeah. We need that.
Okay.
They need that.
They need that.
They need
Oh,
that.
my
Go on,
goodness,
try.
y'all.
Let her know. They need this.
Okay.
Because you're not the only one that goes through.
Right.
Like, there's certain things that we have to think about. And one of those is that you're not your own island, meaning that you're not out there to deal with certain situations by yourself, right?
Right.
So we all need friends. We need people that we can vent to, right? So you have to find that friend.
Right.
You have to, let's say, explore an outlet. You have to discover the outlet. You have to find out what makes you happy outside of the norm.
Gotcha.
Meaning that relaxing is not a form of happiness at a certain point in time.
Right.
Meaning that, yeah, you have done it, but it's not getting you nowhere. So you may need to explore. Detox. I put that down, right?
All right.
So you need to have a way where you detox before going inside the crib, right? In a place of peace.
Okay.
So there's a coworker of mine, and he was telling me all the situations he was going through, and he took me to his place of peace. We drove over there, and I was like, bro, this is a nice spot.
All right.
It was by some water, ducked off in the corner. You couldn't even find it unless you lived in that area.
All right.
But because of our job, we wandered in a lot of areas in Miami.
Gotcha.
So he was able to find it because of that.
All right.
And so being the directory, being overwhelmed, understand the directory does take a break. Watch this. In the mall, what time does the mall close?
Oh, they have a time.
Right. So they have a time at a certain point of time where they close down.
Right.
And I was telling somebody before, I was like, you have to learn how to turn that thing off. Turn your phone off if you have to. Stop looking at your emails. You get what I'm saying? Learn how to close it down. When nobody is pressing that button to trigger you. You get what I'm saying? And then I learned this for myself. Because I can be pulled so much. But at a point in time, I have to say, hey, listen, no is a word and I can use it. Right. So no, I cannot do that because I need to do me right now. And I understand a lot of people pull, but then you have to, I say you should work like a diet. You continue your diet and then one day you have a cheat day. So you continue being the mom that you are, right? Or the father that someone is, right? And providing and being supportive and all of those things. But then there comes a point where you need a cheat day. hey, listen, don't call my phone. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't do this. You get what I'm saying? Just that no factor start kicking in at every aspect.
Right.
Being the go-to person. Like you. So like with my grandma would call me about everything.
All right.
When she was alive, she would call me, hey, you know, I had a family name. So she'll call me, hey, I need this, I need that. So what I did was I got tired of I ain't gonna say I got tired of the phone calls. What I did was I said, I know she's gonna call me, so I'm gonna set everything up so it's an easy transaction.
Right.
So what we did was it was basically when she called me, it was to get in the back house and pull something out for her.
Aww.
So what we did was one day I went down there, I like took off or whatever, and I cleaned the back house out, and me and my grandma separated everything so it can be easy access for her to grab something. And if anything was heavy, all it was hey, I need so and so and so in the front room, and I got it from there. Okay, and I do my, you know, my transaction that way. So I go pull it, talk to my granddad for a quick second, and then I call my grandma, hey, it's done. She's like, okay, cool. And then I'll go about my business.
Right.
So instead of always getting that phone call and then spending hours and hours just trying to pull stuff in, we set it up. And that's what I think we have to do. Being the go-to person, we have to set ourselves up.
Right.
So that we won't be so used up. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I would see it. So you mentioned care, give, and love, right?
Yeah.
And this is what makes a person a beautiful person. Because we care, we give, and we show our love.
Right.
And we show it like in action, right?
Yep.
So the thing about it is, at a point in time, you have to become selfish. And I had to teach myself this. Being selfish is a good asset to being a good individual.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna take it a little bit biblical, right? So God, Christ, so he was down. He was saving and delivering and setting people free.
All right.
And all of those great works. But then he said, you know what? I have to detach myself from everybody and go in seclusion, right? I have to, basically he went in the woods and started praying. In fact, he took that moment in time for himself to go and take care of those emotional things, because he didn't want to build, I interpret it as he didn't want to build himself up because he still was in the flesh.
Gotcha.
So he had to detach himself from the disciples and the people to go in the land. And I think that's something we also need to practice on too. Detaching ourselves because we can give too much of ourselves.
Yep.
And then it breaks us down.
Gotcha.
And when you're broken down, then the things that are important becomes lack. Like one thing I know, I was telling myself, like, man, why I can't do stuff for myself?
Right.
Like, I can do this for this person, I can do that for that person, but I can't do nothing. And you know what it is?
What?
Because people see that you are a good asset to them.
Gotcha.
And if you end up detaching yourself from them, then they can't succeed in life. But then you go lack. And people are that selfish. They only think about themselves. And I know I have experienced that, especially in like relationships.
Gotcha.
Where they will not let me be who I, like if I try to break up with them or I try to separate myself, they won't allow me that space because they already know I may take off and not look back.
That's the rules. Separation, breakup, whatever. Them the rules.
Right.
We supposed to take off.
Right.
Okay.
So, but some people will constantly find themselves in situations that allow us not to grow. And yes, I understand, stick on your word. Don't, but when you care and you love, it's kind of hard for you to move on.
Right.
It's kind of hard for you to let that person not have what they need to have in their lives for you to move on.
I got you.
But then you have to become selfish. That's why I brought it up.
All right.
So go ahead, T.
So I wrote down a few things, right? But back to like the place of peace. like, how do you identify like that place? Because I don't know what it is, especially without substances.
Gotcha.
And so if we take away that, where do you go? Like, how do you find it? Like,
so I mean, the only thing I can tell you is, and everything is not like, it's my opinion. It's not my.
But
like,
tell me what you do though. Do you have a place of peace?
So I do. Okay. So my place of peace was like skating, right? I can be in my own island by myself.
All right.
And doing my own little moves in my head, but really can't do it physical.
Okay. But you be bouncing.
Right.
You be
right,
rolling.
I be sliding.
And my dog be sliding. You do more than me, sweetheart. So you there. Okay.
So
all right.
That would be my place of peace.
Gotcha.
Right. Also, too, I have a belief system, right? And I really believe in it. And I feel like if I pray, fast, read, those things will have like take some type of effect on my life where it will lighten the burden. Also, I like talking. So I may talk to the person I'm with. Right. But even though they may receive it the wrong way. Right. But I like to talk to the person I'm with. Right. Or a friend. But so finding the place of peace, sometimes it's just silence. So not like some people have told me their place of peace is like around the water. But a lot of times we don't take out the time for ourselves. Right. Some people like massages. Some people like to paint. And then like me and my coworker used to talk all the time and we would say people don't have hobbies no more. Right. And because you don't have hobbies, you sit up there and you miss out on finding your way of detoxing. Facts. And also having peace.
I love that. Thank
you get what I'm saying? So I believe in, and so skating was my hobby. Right. It gave me something to do. Right. Plus you physically fit. I mean, it kind of tones you up and stuff like that. But substance is like I think a temporary fix.
Of course.
But it's not permanent.
Yeah, it's just to patch it up. Right. Yeah, that's all.
And so what we have to do is we have to learn how to, okay, we may have the temporary fix, but we need a permanent solution. Exactly. So the permanent solution can come from, like I say, just an outlet, having a hobby, because you don't know stroking the brush right on the canvas can be a sign of letting go. Gotcha. You get what I'm saying? That's why some artists, when they express themselves, you'll never get the visual until they explain. When I made this mark here, it was a mark of release because I lost someone. Right. And that's what the color represents. Gotcha. So it may be a whole formula with it, but we have to learn how to find that stroke of the brush or the stride or riding horses or just like some people go on vacations. Right. You get what I'm saying? So these are things that we can do. And I'm not, and I know T be like, yeah, she want to ride on something, right?
Those thoughts were in my mind. How did you? Yeah, like, oh my goodness. Yes, you know me so well. Those thoughts were in my mind. I love it.
So with that,
yes,
that's not you personally letting out. Gotcha. You get what I'm saying? That's having someone else to help you let it out. Right. That's where the conversations and friends and interactions and stuff like that may take place. But finding your own peace by yourself. Exactly. And that's what I think sometimes we need to focus on, having the detached moment from the world. Right. Right. I used to like fast and not use my phone or technology. I wouldn't watch TV. Okay. I wouldn't use the social media, anything like that. All right. Because I wanted to detox from the world. Gotcha. Because sometimes it'll cloud your way of thinking to make you think that something is right and when it's wrong. So when that happened, it helped me. So when people was always in their phone, I'd be like, how come you can't get out of your phone? Like some people always have to listen to music, but they can never listen to their thoughts. And when they are silent, when the atmosphere is silent, they go to sleep because, and they'll wonder like, why I always go to sleep when it's silent? I say because you're at peace, and 9 times out of peace is like a soft pillow.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
All
So
right.
it'll put you to sleep. Some people, they can just think about some wonderful things, and
Gotcha.
then they can move forward with it. So yeah, that's the place of peace.
I love it. So I think I kind of dropped them gems, like, a couple of times because I was feeling it.
That's what's up.
All right. So thank you. Give yourself a round of applause with that one. Hello. Hey. Like, that was deep. So I'm soaking everything in because at the end of the day, you know how I roll. Listen,
you even sound better, right? Just that quick.
Sound better. Okay, cool. Because I released it the first day of half.
I know.
I didn't know it was all built up right here in the chest. But it's like real talk. Like, in order for me to get different results, I have to do something different.
That's it.
So that's why I'm always open to do things where people might, personally share or how they might get through things. Because obviously I'm not doing half of what you're saying. Okay.
Gotcha.
So, but I want to taste of that. I kind of want to see how that goes for me in my life. So based on my life, based on my schedule, I'm just trying to figure out, when do I have the time? Like, how can I schedule, that alone time to keep trying to find that place of peace. That place of peace. If you have kids, like, basically you the one. Maybe it's a wife out there. Like, when was she? I'm not a wife, but how can we have time if, number one, the main priority will always be your household, and your household could have a husband, could not, wife, whatever, it could be. But what if you have a significant other, you have a partner? What if you don't? What if you do have kids? Like, and your time schedule is going when people really need you. Maybe it's a woman at home take care of her mom, and she don't trust nobody else. Like, what if for the people who really just don't, not to say it's an excuse, but what I'm trying to say is, how can we find, or when can we have that time to have that place of peace? Like, how? Like, what stops?
Okay.
Nothing stops, right?
Nothing stops.
Nothing stops,
right?
okay.
Until you make it stop. And so what I mean by that is I put plan ahead, right? And you are good at planning.
Yes.
You should see your calendar, y'all.
Magnificent. Magnificent.
Right.
I feel like I was in a theater right now. Just magnificent when it comes to shit like that.
Right.
Like, that's personal.
So just the energy that you
Right.
put into,
Yes.
let's say planning ahead,
Organizer, boy.
you have to do the same thing as far as planning your state of mind or your place of peace. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, okay, we have so many hours within the week.
Right.
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 And with that, we know that out of those hours, we have to sleep. We have to cook. We have to work.
Right.
We have to cater to whomever.
Right.
But like, I believe this, and I'm going to go side, then I'm going to come back.
All right.
Somebody that you're involved with, they should understand what you need. So when you come into their atmosphere, they should provide that for you.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Now, let's say that's dependent on someone else.
Gotcha.
But let's say you have to do it yourself.
Right.
After, let's say you plan ahead. So you cook ahead. You cook for 2 or 3 days. But always on Tuesdays at 7:30, you go outside and you just look at the stars. Or you take that trip to the beach. Or you take that trip to skating. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? To go ride the horse.
You spend that time right there in that moment.
Exactly.
I got it.
And you can keep playing that at the head. So you always have yourself looking towards something new.
And it's putting everybody else on schedule.
Right. And then you tell
like
the
this.
people, tell the people like that you're around. Hey, listen, 7 o'clock on Tuesday.
Right.
It's only me.
Right.
Don't
look for me.
And let me tell you what my mom used to do.
Wow.
And even though it wasn't nothing big, but she used to have this apple pie and ice cream.
Okay.
She will bake a pie.
All right.
And then she will, have her ice cream.
Right.
And while
good.
she's eating her, you will leave her alone. And that was her place.
She had everybody trained to know that.
Right.
When you see that ice
When you
cream
see that,
and that pie, don't talk to me.
Right. Don't ask.
Yes, mother. Thank you,
get what I'm saying?
for being a woman to give me that example, because I don't know. I don't know. I'm over here crying, going crazy on this shit. Okay.
But we all.
Thank you,
We
Mom.
all
Thank
can
you.
make. I think we make time for who we want to make time for, and
I
what
need to choose myself.
exactly.
We
And
all need to choose ourselves.
right,
Okay.
and what we want to make time for.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, you will be more happier. Because I've been in relationships where people chose themselves even over me, and I have done a lot for them.
And they still chose themselves?
Yeah.
Were you upset?
No,
Okay.
because like my granddad had taught me this years ago. Don't worry about that. Just move on. Don't worry about that. Just move on. We better than that. That's what my granddad would always tell me. We
Right.
better than that. We bigger than that. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? So being used was just a tool to help me grow. You get what I'm saying? So then when I looking at different individuals and see how they play me, it's just one of those situations. I'm glad you did.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because now I learn how individuals are. That's why my testimony or my experiences is large, because I've always paid attention to my situations.
Right.
Now, yes, sometimes I'm redundant. I go back and back and back and back because I probably can't get enough of my experience with the person. But when I start to really like dumb down my form,
Right.
the way I form my thoughts,
Right.
and think about how this person, really used me and abused my love towards them,
Right.
man, it was one of those. I got it.
Got it.
It's time for me to move on.
Right.
Cut them off, and then I
Gotcha.
move on with my life.
Wow.
And then I love to see people happy. So even if you're not happy with me,
Right. Yes.
as long as you're happy, I'm
Right.
sad. I'm happy too.
Right.
You get what I'm
I
saying?
love
So
it.
yeah, and I'm not a perfect person. You get what I'm saying? But this is how I learned so much in my lifetime. And plus, I got 2 more minutes.
All right.
Plus, my job helped me to get over a lot of stuff.
Right.
Because I deal with the dead.
Right.
And I
Let 'em
understand that point when you cut off,
Right.
it's no coming back from
Let them
that.
know. Let them know.
And all that we do worry about, we don't need to worry about.
Right.
And we should look past certain things that take place in our lives. Now, certain traumatic traumas, I
Right.
get.
Yeah.
But certain things that is just light work,
Right.
no.
Right. I agree.
Let's move on. Let's do better. And we're bigger than that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's where I come from with that.
All right.
All right. So go ahead, hit me with one, T.
Hey, you just hit the one. Hey, yay. That was a sound joke.
Yeah.
So I had wrote down a few things because you was, triggered something in me.
Okay.
And you said time 4. And I was like, who, Tom Ford? I was like, no, he said time 4. So let me get back to it. So I was like, okay, so time 4, I was like, well, if I get that time, I'm hyping myself up, because for me, I gotta plan this shit from A to Z in order for me to kind of deliver it. You understand? That's how my mind goes. So I'm thinking about time 4. So T, you need to make time for yourself. 4, and I wrote down a list of why I want to get to this time for me not to have no excuse not to put myself first. Because that's being consistent, what you basically just said.
Right.
And it's hard to be consistent. That is I'm going to speak for myself,
Right.
okay? It's hard for me to be consistent because of my thoughts. Hey, if y'all know me, Looney Tunes on my phone, all over the damn place. That's how my mind think.
Right.
Okay? I don't want to go into details because
Right.
I'm going to go that shit more.
Right.
But back to the time 4.
Right.
Stop it. Because I got Walt Disney and Looney Tunes all in
I
my
know.
head.
I know.
All right. So time 4. Not time 4. So time 4. So the peace. I need to go back to this place every week at this certain time because I need peace in my body. I need to feel it in my soul. I need to feel it at the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I don't care if it was for 30 minutes. Okay? So I'm telling myself, if I'm watching Cruella DeVille, the latest one, in the part of the movie, this lady took a nap for 7 minutes. That's all she basically, she only had 7 minutes to take a nap throughout her whole crazy, hectic day. So she put the cucumbers over her eyes, laid on her couch. 7 minutes, her assistant came, got her ass up, and she kept going. So regardless of what I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 30 minutes duration, I had to tell myself, time for what? I'm going to fight for that time for the peace. That was number one. Number two, I'm fighting for my time. I need the time. Without the time, I won't be here to list the remainings of what I'm about to say. So that feeling of you about to control your time, that's what I'm fighting for in life, period. Okay. If I'm going to be an advocate about something, it will be about fighting for my time. How in the hell can I spend the time that I want, make the money I want, regardless of how much money I'm going to make, but let me have control of my time. That's what I'm here about for, okay? Okay. Now you have happiness. You know, I want to be happy. You know, I want all this feelings, what the hell I'm saying, right, of this time for me to fight for to get it every week. Right. So happy, like why I want to smile. Like I still feel, I saw the 10-year challenge shit, and you know I'm always weeks and months behind because I'm not on social media. But I came across someone did a 10-year challenge like recently. And I was like, well, it's probably old. I don't know, but I'm not going to do it. So I wind up doing it on myself. Meaning, I just posted a story recently because I barely post pictures. I'm gonna do better. Anyway, side note, but come back and it's like that was my 10-year challenge. So I want to smile. I want to be happy. I don't want to frown. So in order for me to keep this young look that I got, I just want to be happy. Number one, I want to feel good and look good at the same time. I'm a woman, and I want to feel that reset button. So time for what? Just for me to get this reset, because as soon as that time is up, you're going back to your regular programming. So I just need that feeling, whatever this time going to be, wherever the place is going to be. Right now, you helping me get to that feeling for me to get there quick, for me to figure it out, because I want to have this feeling in order for me to get to my crazy day, especially without substances. Okay, right. And just for me in that moment, that time forward, to know that, you know what, Terica, you are worthy. Regardless where you are in life, regardless of how this effed up world we live in, trying to make you feel a certain way, you know, that feeling. Social media, how many likes or who might like you, who judge you in your personal life, your family. It's just all the negativity that comes with the world. But just to know and keep reassuring myself that, you know what, T, you are worth it. You need to sit. You need to realize where you are, because at the end of the day, somebody already going through worse shit than you are. So I have to understand that, you know what, I am worthy. Guess what? Keep going. Be consistent. Just keep going. So I'm fighting for that feeling. I'm almost there. I got like 2 or 3 more. And then, of course, the spiritual part. I know I have a mouth. I know T is not perfect, but I still believe in God. I still feel like I am a Christian. I'm just probably do the most what other Christians might not do, and I might show it what I do. But at the end of the day, what I bring and with my characteristics, I know I am a spiritual person. Period. So I need to connect with Him. And when I connect with Him, even though I still talk to Him every single day, but without a distraction, for me to know that that's our time also to give Him thanks. Because without Him, I wouldn't be here. So I have to sit still. Like when they say, peace be still, I am fighting for this feeling that I have, because it's a reset. But in the midst of it, I need to talk to my father. And in the midst of it, I need to talk to my biological father, who's no longer here. Like, it's only one father that everyone knows, but I need to cry. I need to release that whoever could have said something to me during that week, that previous week, the day of, couple of days, whatever is going on, I need to release it. Because it's a blessing that we do have a person or two that you could call girl, let me tell you about my day, or boy, let me tell you about my day. But sometimes you don't need to feed that onto people too much, so I really try not to abuse it. People spoil me with it now. I don't know why Mother Effers answer that call. Every time I call, I be like, what's wrong with you? Like, you really want to hear what I got going on? Like, person, do you know what you got going on? And the people be, hi, what's going on? Don't talk to me. I be like, we some crazy motherfuckers. We all need to go sit at a couch or somebody's couch. But I have to release it and try to get through it, honestly, without calling somebody every day.
Right.
So I need to go to a place that is just helping me get to this feeling that I'm expressing with you and everyone who's listening and watching. And thank you for just having this conversation with me.
Right.
Because not Tom Ford, but the time for is like, I'm gonna get on it. And then when I figure it out, I will share it.
Right.
I will share it. But thank you.
And so the place of peace, this is what comes to mind. Of God will meet you there. Once you designate, I remember I was in a Bible study, and that's one of the things they talked about. Like, if you have a prayer closet, not literally the closet, but
there was a room about that. The lady praying for her family, her marriage, and her kids and stuff.
So, but just having a place where you pray,
right?
And it was saying that God will meet you there. And if you designate a time, how God will meet you there, and that. So, again, whatever your belief system may be,
right?
If you just keep going to that place, God will meet you there at that particular place,
right?
As well as working on being well balanced, mentally, physically, financially, of course, spiritually, socially, emotionally,
all the leads.
Right.
We need all the leads to come to the table.
Exactly.
Oh,
and being there, you will be, if you learn how to work on each one of those attributes to become a well balanced person, you will find the place of peace as well. And that's just what I believe in. I'm
going to try all of this.
This is one thing.
Okay. What?
What I learned about us as people.
Oh, okay.
We gotta stay out of our own head.
I know you was gonna say that.
Because if you don't stay or stop being in your own head,
right,
you will either puff yourself up higher than you ought to, or you will fall into depression.
Yes.
It's either you go up or down.
Right.
And then you ever met a person and then something don't go right and you thinking the worst.
Of course.
Right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden when you get around the person, you find out that's not even what happened. The person was asleep.
I just worked myself up.
The person was asleep.
That's when that care comes in.
Right.
That's when that love comes in.
That's over caring.
Yeah.
That's over loving a situation.
Yeah.
Instead of just loving and caring.
Right.
And I know we love to give our all to other people to substitute the fact that we may not love ourselves that much.
Facts.
Right? But we need to learn how to love ourselves.
Facts.
And then we can spread the love to other people. Because I was thinking about this. Let's say if you have let's say you had a child, right? You just had a baby.
All right.
And every time you was around the baby, you start complaining and complaining and complaining.
Oh, that's sad.
Always bickering and always being angry.
Right.
And then the baby just keep crying and crying.
Duplicating what the mama do.
And I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that too.
That's an energy that always is pushed off onto the child.
Yes.
And then when you try to find your place of peace, you can never find it because your child now is always distraught. And then because you'll wonder, like I used to wonder how come, like, it's like when I go to church or I be around people that have kids,
right?
Like one of they, like, let's say this friend, their child will be good.
Okay.
But the other friend child will be just wild and crazy and all of that stuff. And you be like, but why? And what happens is the baby don't know how to put on. We as adults know how to put on.
All right.
But the other child, they not putting on. This is just how they are.
Right.
They're just having fun. You get what I'm saying? They're not over there mad about everything. And of course, I think that our child is a representation of who we are.
Facts.
When we're not around.
Right.
Right. So they exemplify what we are in the house, but outside, because they don't know how to mask it.
Right.
Right. So I think about those things. So if you're not at a place of peace within yourself, you need to learn how to get there.
Right.
And the only way to get there is first acknowledge it and then work on becoming better in that form. You know, in the form of, I don't know, stop complaining.
I got you.
You know,
all right.
And look at what I learned too is that some of us are very negative. I know we first mind negative, second mind positive. That's my saying.
Right. I got you.
But we walk around with a chip on our shoulder when nothing is going wrong. We still have a job. We still have a roof over our head. We still have a car. We still have food on the table, clothes on our back. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we just worried because we cannot buy the Tom Fords.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, or we cannot buy whatever we want to buy. We're angry at the world. No, you have the necessity, and why we're not grateful over the small things.
Right.
I got tissue paper and toilet paper in my house.
Yeah.
I have something to eat in my refrigerator.
And the lights are still on. Well, I got you.
Sometimes when I come home, I say, God, I just thank you for the place I have. Thank you for the car I drive.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, because I could be on the bus stop.
Right.
I could be living in my car, because this is a real thing. I pick up people that lives in their cars, decompose in their cars.
Wow.
So sometimes I just come home and be grateful.
Right.
You know, I got a couch to sleep on. It may not be what I really want, but I have it.
Right.
I can go in the kitchen and get me a bottle of water.
Hello.
You get what I'm saying? From the faucet.
You right. You right. You absolutely right about that. Well, listen, that's some real stuff. There's so many countries out there who still don't have water to this day.
That's crazy.
And that is so crazy. So I have to respect that. Like,
you know what humbled me? I went on a trip on a cruise with a friend of mine, and she got the excursions for us to go on.
Okay, gotcha.
So we end up going to the Mayans tombs.
Okay.
Right? So they pyramids, that's what they call it in Belize. So while we were traveling to it, we was on the bus, and two things I realized. One, they don't have AC like we do. So the tourists, what they call them?
The tour guide?
Tour guide, right? She was telling us that they got sick when they got the air-conditioned bus, but they only got it for the people for the states. But regular people that lives there, right? The residents, they don't have AC. They just have windows. They pull up in the AC, whatever
the breeze come through.
So when she got on the bus, she got sick because of the AC, because they wasn't used to it. The second one was, while we were driving, there was like a pool of water, rainwater, and the kids was playing in the water.
Right.
And so the lady was telling us that this is the only water that they actually get to wash their clothes. And they use some of the water to like take baths.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So they don't really have like drinking water. So they'll go to another pond. They'll have to walk for miles.
Right.
And when I say I came back home and I appreciated what I had, that changed my paradigm shift. You get what I'm saying? So I always think about that when I say I don't have much.
Right.
I don't have nothing,
Right.
Oh, I don't have enough. I don't have nothing. I don't have clothes in my closet. Because I don't have the newest outfit doesn't mean I don't have it. And I think God even pay attention to that stuff. Like the atmosphere pays the energy.
Right.
Like, oh, you not even happy over the few things that you do have. Okay. God gives and take away. He'll take this stuff away.
You know what I just thought about?
I'm listening.
And I didn't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Because I'm going to start off with the most recent and then previously what I wrote down. So I wish it could be us, it could be whoever listening, it could follow, share, whoever. Like real talk. These kids need to go experience what you just said.
Yeah.
It needs to be an organization. It needs to be to where a family can take their kids. It has to, wherever. I don't care if they have to pay us to go. It's a part of just living. It comes with it. Hey, you pay your taxes. This is free for you and for your family. Go over here. This is a voucher. Go over there. Hey, them kids will come back so damn struggling and everything. They gonna know what the hell to do. So I'm just saying, like, jokefully, but seriously, at the same time, because I know I have not done this yet to my kids. To be honest, I haven't fed the homeless. I never took my daughter, but her dad and on that side of the family, they do that every year. I don't know what, since COVID, maybe so, but before, I know a good small people who really give back of that nature, and I just don't do that. But I'm sure they still have, somewhere where we all, again, this is before COVID thinking, because now everything is restricted. But back then, I know some people took their kids to go see X, Y, and Z, or maybe some sick kids in the hospital. Like, look, that could be you. Or, let's pray for them. Like, these families are here in this hospital months. Like, they don't know. So when they kids get to that certain point, let me show you how good you have it.
How good you have. So pause right there.
All right now. Okay.
There's a particular person I knew that had sickle cell, and they would be in the hospital for about no more than probably 2 weeks. But visiting the individual, I got the chance to see other kids and what the parents have to deal with the cancers and the different things like that.
Right.
And when I say that brings a different perspective on who you are as an individual. When you go to Miami Children's, I don't even think it's Nicholas now or Joe DiMaggio.
Oh, right.
When you go there, you will see as exactly what you just said. Parents are spending months at a time catering to their child, and there's nothing they can do for their child.
Right.
And this thing is a serious thing that we take advantage of our life, health, and strength.
Yeah.
And I think kids need to understand that, yes, this could have been me, but I was saved from that situation. So let me be appreciative of the dynamic I am in. Because I don't have an iPad doesn't mean I still don't have a chance to play.
Right.
Or have a nice life.
Right.
And granted, we know that some people can afford certain things so their kids get it.
But
that's fine.
Or can they really afford it? Are we talking about paying on credit cards? I'm just saying, can
I'm
they
talking
really
about, like,
afford it?
Family that really can afford it.
So really can afford it. Okay.
We know that.
There's levels to it.
Right.
Okay.
Is.
People do scamming. People do all this shit. Some people out there faking it. I'm talking about to the people who really can't afford it.
Right. So I don't want to take nothing away from the ones that can do it.
Okay.
Right. But for the ones that's trying to keep up.
Right.
Those will be the issues that we run into, because it's like you're doing it for no reason.
Right.
It's not really beneficial, but detrimental. You get what I'm saying? For the kids to either experience just being a child,
right,
and they don't need all that extra stuff. And understand the real world that we live in.
And to fight, just to add, to fight with that list I said. So what if you had that free time? That time for, not Tom Ford, but that time for, see that in your kids. Everybody calm down and see that into them, because these are the real conversations our kids need to kind of know. Basically, we're their answer key. I always tell my daughter, girl, your mama the punching bag for your life, okay? And I'm gonna be personal. I don't know how I'm finna say it, but this is you'll get the concept. But help me if I'm saying it wrong.
Okay.
But I told my daughter less than a week ago. I said, I wish what I know now back then. I said, and hear me out. I said, you are the now. I'm the back then.
That makes sense, T.
You understand?
I
said, I'm pushing you so much because I'm trying not to really live through you. But I already lived back then. So as you're walking, you breathe in today as in now. Listen to your mama.
Mm-hmm.
And those are conversations we have, and it's just like
that's real.
I just want to add that to what you were saying.
Right.
That was one out of the half. You know, kind of. That's what it was. And one, please excuse me, I put bloodsucker.
Okay.
And it went to the conversation to where how you brought about the mom, and what if she just always sad? She just negative, and she's putting that on her. It could be unborn in her womb, and then also when the baby comes, now you're carrying the baby, the newborn or the infant or the child. What if you still carrying this on this human being, number one, who did not ask to be on this earth? So what you're doing is you're being so selfish because you're the bloodsucker, because that's how you need somebody to be just like you in order for you to stay goddamn misery.
Wow.
So everyone is not to be meant to be mothers and not meant to be fathers. But when you told me about the negativity, because I don't do that to my kids. Mm-hmm. When you see T kids and you gotta be, and I say, hey, it is what it is. I'm very private, especially when it comes to the kids. If you family, you family. But if you haven't not seen my kids or say hi face to face, you just not in that circle of family. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. So, but for the people who I consider family, because friends are family, or neighbors, all that, everything family. Everybody give me compliment on my kids. So what kind of pissed me off and you trigger something, I said, you blood sucker. Because in order for you to stay miserable, in order for you to just stay negative, you need something to keep fueling you in. So you putting that on your child versus putting the kids first.
Exactly.
Versus smiling. Versus getting closer to God. Versus you being the opposite of whatever you are from this damn blood sucker I'm talking about.
Right.
So I just wanted to add that what you were saying.
And that could just be people just being so negative.
So negative.
Right. And don't
just
know how
stop.
So to bring it full circle.
Yes, come on now.
Being the directory will affect your life if you do not take time out for yourself. You will be overwhelmed.
What? Going to fucking crazy house.
Affect your kids.
Yes.
And things around you.
Yes. Everything.
Everything. But being the person to go to can be beneficial.
Yes.
But you always need to take time out for yourself.
Facts.
Right?
Okay.
So
can I add one more thing before we close it out?
Yep, because that's why I ain't even close it out.
What you just described, that's a Gemini thing.
Okay.
I had to add that. Not to say all Geminis do it, but it's a Gemini thing.
Right.
All right now.
So I'm your boy DP.
All right, y'all Geminis and everybody out there who doing this, what we do, the directories, this for y'all. For the directories out there.
This my girl Directory T.
Hey, I'm Directory T. That's Directory T. Over now. Trust me, it's Directory T.
And we Gemini Gemz.
Yes.
That's Geminis with the S.
Yes.
Gems with the Z. And what we do, T?
Hey, y'all, we dropped them gems.
Gems.
Those for the directories out there.
All right.
All right. Sorry for that.
All right.